Okay, tonight we're going to be talking about type 2 diabetes. Now, the one thing that I want to really help you understand this evening is that type 2 diabetes, even though we actually consider this a disease, it's more of an eating disorder. And simply put, I always, I have people come in and they say, well, my parents had type 2 diabetes and on and on and on. And it is true, okay? First of all, let me explain why we get what we call type 2 diabetes, which, by the way, is adult onset diabetes. As we go to adulthood, we start losing our muscle mass. And as we start losing our muscle is the first thing that takes up and uses those carbohydrates. Now understand that, and I want this to be understandable so that you don't think, well, I'll just work out more. What you don't understand is when you lose muscle, it doesn't matter how much you work out the current muscle you have, you're still not going to burn as much sugar as you did when you're younger. Unless, of course, you do bodybuilding forms of exercise to keep your lean mass, and you eat a high enough protein number to provide the amino acids to rebuild those muscles. So, the first thing I want to do is establish what do we need to do to really get our sugars down, to really take control of that. And basically what we have is a situation where there's about 38% more carbohydrate in the American diet than there was about 20 years ago. So understand that even if you're eating the same types of food, they've changed the food. See, the fish are the same in the aquarium, they've changed the aquarium. So what's happened is we're eating food sources which actually have more sugars and more carbs in them than what we were used to. And then I also want to help identify some of the stuff that you never really thought had sugar in it. Because understand there's this thing called carbs and this thing called sugar. Most people don't realize they are the exact same thing. And you can argue this one as much as you want to. I really don't care. I've done all the research. Carbohydrates and sugar are the exact same thing. Oh, but Mark, there's complex carbohydrates. Yeah, I know all about complex carbohydrates. The minute they hit the saliva in your mouth, pow, they turn right back into sugar again. So interestingly enough, eating this bread, believe it or not, bread hits your insulin level harder, okay, converts to sugar more, like if you were to eat table sugar, that has a glycemic rate of 64. This has a glycemic rate of 70. So this actually spikes your sugar faster than eating raw sugar. So again, you don't have to take my word for it, I don't really care. But what's interesting is these are the facts. If you eat rice, you're eating sugar. If you eat any form of fruit, you're eating sugar. And the one I tell people to avoid at all costs is a banana. A banana is like eating 1.5 Snickers bars worth of sugar. Why in the world would you do that? People say, well, I need my potassium. Well, here's the deal. It doesn't have potassium in it unless it ripened on that tree and it fell and hit you on the head. Okay? They pick these things so green that there is no development stage for this banana. They might have a tiny bit of potassium in them, but they really don't have much at all. So what you got to understand is this right here is the biggest culprit. It's sugar. You don't want sugar in your life. You want to keep your life as sugar-free as possible because sugar causes all the bad health issues. And we're going to really go into that tonight as to sugar being the biggest evil there is. It creates type 2 diabetes, heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, you name it. It's all caused by sugar. And we as human beings must understand what we really need to eat. So, with that being said, I want to sort of differentiate some of the things. Colas, avoid them at all costs, but if you're going to drink cola, never drink Diet Cola. Diet Cola causes what we call insulin resistance at a 3 times greater rate than drinking regular cola. So this is actually responsible for more type 2 diabetes coming on. And remember, we sort of put the whole diet sodas in there about 20 plus years ago, and I mean literally just watch the type 2 diabetes just fly off the chart. So if you're going to drink a soda, which I highly recommend you don't, Drink a regular one, okay? And here's the great thing. How about we don't drink them at all? That would be your best bet. If there's water, tea, and coffee, you can drink that. That's fine. It doesn't have a sugar rating in it, unless, of course, you add sugar, which I wouldn't add sugar to your tea or your coffee. Just drink it the way it is, okay? Potato chips. Turn directly into sugar. Turns directly into sugar. Potato, directly into sugar. All these things convert directly into sugar. A potato, by the way, is really close to the banana as far as the amount of sugar it converts to. It converts to a jumbo-sized Snickers bar. So again, we really don't want to be eating these kinds of food, because when you eat food that converts to sugar, you stimulate in your body a thing called insulin. Insulin is called the fat hormone. Without insulin, you cannot be fat. So if you're watching this video and you've got some weight on you, maybe some bouncing over the belt line or whatever, you're eating something that converts to sugar. You're eating something that stimulates insulin production. That's why we're holding this weight, okay? So interestingly enough, these foods will make you fat. You can drink bacon grease and it won't make you fat, okay? Now I know we're going to go into that in my second half of the video, but remember, bacon grease will not make you fat. This will make you fatter than bacon grease, okay? So, and again, that just, messes with your mind, but wait till you hear number 2, or video 2. So, but what we want to establish right now is how to get the sugar out of your life, and it's real simple. No bread, cereal, pasta, rice, potatoes, crackers, all these things convert directly into sugar. Basically, all you have to do is, get out a NutriBox or a box and look on the side of the box. Well, look at this box right here, and it'll tell you right on there. If it says sugar or carbs, it's in there. I wouldn't be eating it, especially if you're pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetes, or if you want to get your weight under control. Carbohydrates are going to make that a lot more difficult. You cannot consume them. And I don't care what your friends say or your personal trainer says, oh, well, you need complex carbohydrates. No, you don't need them. Okay? Your body can make carbohydrates out of protein and fat, and it converts that into a carbohydrate that your body can use. Carbohydrates, you get enough of them just by accident. You don't need to add them to your day, okay? So again, especially if you're somebody who has type 2 diabetes or somebody who is dealing with weight situations, you're probably getting more than enough. And again, I know that I didn't give you all the ways to identify carbohydrates. You're just going to have to get better at label reading. But the biggest carbohydrate issues you're going to find with most people are bread, cereal, pasta, rice, potatoes, and the number one, absolute worst, I hate to say it, is beer. Beer is a terrible carbohydrate, and it's fermented grain, so it's really, really bad for the body. Causes all sorts of health issues. So I would very much limit that as well, especially if you find people who are starting to put on a little bit of weight. Beer could be one of the problems. And again, wine and all sorts of alcohol has the same issue. It definitely attacks the liver. It's not good for you. So, but again, that just sort of gives you a rough idea. The next segment, we're going to talk about sort of how to convert your diet and what you should be eating. So again, I want you to tune in for that next part. This is just how to identify sugar and how to get that out of your life. Next part is going to be how to sort of convert your life into, okay, so Mark, what do I eat now? Because you basically took all my food away. Well, if I'm taking all your food away by this first video, we definitely got a lot of work to do, because I shouldn't be taking all your food away. Because in all honesty, I just took none of my food away. On a daily basis, I don't eat none of this stuff, okay? So, we're going to get to video 2 in a second. So, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was somewhat educational. And video 2 is coming up. We'll see you soon.